Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So the early reviews are out for Daryl Dixon, so I want to discuss all the reviews for this show. It's actually very positive. There are some negative reviews, and I'm going to be going overall, over every single review out there, because I do want to get a general vibe as to what people are saying for this show. And yeah, I've seen a couple harsh reviews, so we're going to go into that and talk about why they said it was harsh. And then there's been some very positive reviews as well. So I'm going to get into all that. So before we go any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I'm still very confused on Daryl Dixon's premieres. So I've been saying that it's going to be premiering on September 7th because it seems like this one, they announced this around Comic-Con. They said something like it was going to premiere on the 10th and then, it would be available on AMC Plus 3 days before. But I've just been seeing everywhere right now that it's going to be on AMC and AMC Plus on September 10th. So I'm assuming that it's going to be premiering this Sunday, which again, if that is the case, I am definitely very happy with that, because that means that we all get to celebrate The Walking Dead every single Sunday again, which is the way it used to be years ago. And I prefer to do reviews like that because everyone gets to watch at the same time. There's a lot more hype, and it feels better, because it's always one of those things where when I have to do a review on the Thursday, it's I'm watching it and it's so hard to not be spoilery, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's just release it on the Sunday. And so if they are actually sticking with that, if that is actually the release, that would be really amazing. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, if it's September 7th and it is still not out, then I'm assuming that it's going to be out on the 10th. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. But let's get into some of the early reviews here. So I do want to start off with a very negative review, just because I feel like that's just sort of, I don't know, I just kind of want to start off with that, and that is by Forbes. And Forbes, I'm used to, usually not liking stuff with The Walking Dead over the years. I'm just sort of overall, whenever I've read reviews by Forbes anyways for The Walking Dead, it's usually been pretty negative over the years. So, there is that part to it as well. There's also a lot of story details I will mention. I'm not going to get into it here too much, but I will do a video on some new story details, because it's not necessarily spoilery, but it does give us more information on the plot. And there's some stuff that they do actually talk about in terms of the advanced walkers that we've been really wanting. We've been really wanting answers on that. Are we going to be seeing those certain aggressive, running walkers? It seems like yes, we will. And there's some really interesting stuff there in terms of experiments and all of that. And it seems like they're setting up a lot of stuff for season 2 and all of that. So, but to get into Forbes' review here, and by the way, I will post a link to every single article here. You can go read the entire thing, see their thoughts entirely here. I'm just picking a few quotes here to sort of give you an example as to what they're saying here. So this is from Forbes. It says the coolest bit of the show focuses on experimentation with super zombies, which we got hints about at the end of The Walking Dead World Beyond, and continues the show trying to do new things with zombies, like how at the end of the main show, they started doing things like climbing, opening doors, and wielding knives. Here, they are not smart zombies, but they are strong and a bigger threat than we have seen. We needed more strong zombies here and less Laurent. I will say the show ends on a good note, a tease for their already greenlit second season that I now have hope should be better than the first, but man, what a deeply odd season 1 this was, and I'm not sure I can recommend it to anyone but Walking Dead superfans who are going to watch all these spinoffs anyway. So this review overall, did not like Laurent as a character, so, complained that the character was a little bit more annoying and criticized the overall plot of the show and whatnot, but seems to actually have some hope for season 2, and then talked about some of that. So that's Forbes there. That was one of the most negative reviews that I've seen. I've also seen some reviews from The Wrap, and again, I'll leave a link down below to the article here, but at the very end here, they do say that, can it resuscitate a franchise many feel has long since died? The jury is still out, but as a standalone entry, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon is a surprisingly gorgeous, soul-stirring, and riveting watch. Norman Reedus said they were making art with this show, and you know what? He wasn't lying. And there's a lot of positive reviews like this online. I've seen a lot of reviews saying that the show is truly amazing and completely reinvents the character in a way, and the character can really lead on his own. And there's also another review here from comicbook.com that says Daryl Dixon is epic and entertaining as it expands the Walking Dead mythology with rich world building. France feels like a lived-in, dramatically different corner of the Walking Dead universe, populated by an intriguing cast of new characters. Along their journey, Daryl and company encounter Lou, the resilient leader of scrappy forager youths, Falou, a well-connected Parisian ally of the Union of Hope, and Quinn, the dimensional double-dealing owner of an underground Paris nightclub. Norman Reedus is, I guess that's French for magnificent, re-energized by what is destined to become event television. Already renewed for a second season, the new series delivers what The Walking Dead fans want, and something entirely unexpected. Daryl Dixon is The Walking Dead as you've never seen it before. Enlivened and reinvented to prove that there's a lot of life left in the zombie drama. Viva La Walking Dead, long live The Walking Dead, and rates it 4.5 out of 5. And generally, that is what the reviews are saying out there. Like, that's the thing. There's a lot of reviews out there. I've seen some negative reviews out there. There's been like a couple more, but out of like 20 or 30, honestly, the negative reviews, there's probably like 4 or 5 reviews that are like negative. There's some that are more mixed, but generally it is way more positive with a lot of people praising the show. And it seems like the general vibe is that this show is better than Dead City, or if you like Dead City, you will enjoy this show. So that's sort of the expectations that I'm going in with this show, is that it's probably going to be like Dead City. So if you like Dead City, you're probably going to like this show. If you did not like Dead City, well, you might not like this show then. Again, it really depends, because I feel like that's one of those things, like with The Walking Dead right now, you have to sort of like the zombie story. You have to like certain aspects to it. And I imagine with a story like Daryl Dixon, there's going to be a lot of fans as well that view a lot of the religious aspects to this as, you know, just being too silly and just being too ridiculous, because that's a lot of the negative reviews that I've seen out there. That's sort of what they're kind of saying about it, is that it just feels kind of ridiculous and just not believable. Like, it just feels like, why is Daryl here doing this? It makes no sense. And so if that's sort of how you feel about it, you might not like it, or maybe your mind changes on it and you eventually do. But for me, I'm excited about that different aspect to it, because, you know, if Daryl was still in the Midwest doing whatever, you know, like, it's the same type of thing that we've already been getting. And seeing something like this, and also the fact that there's going to be, you know, advanced walkers, and there seems to be an actual plot and overall, you know, I guess point to it in terms of the Walking Dead universe, I'm excited about a lot of that, because again, they're experimenting on stuff in zombies, and they're confirming that here in these reviews. They're actually experimenting on zombies, and we're going to be seeing that here in the first season. That is really, really interesting because of the connections to Dr. Jenner, obviously in The Walking Dead season 1, and some stuff with the Civic Republic and the things going on in Ohio with the scientists there, right? Because I can't remember what I think they were called the Primrose Team or whatever. So there's a lot of really interesting connections here. And it seems like season 1 introduces a lot of this stuff, but doesn't get into everything entirely, doesn't wrap up the story entirely, because obviously there's a season 2, but apparently ends on a very, very good note. And it seems like even the negative reviews are saying the same exact thing, that it ends on a very positive note. And yeah, I do actually wonder, like, I'm still wondering if Carol's going to show up at the very, very end. Like, I'm wondering if that's what they mean. I have no idea. But there's also this review right here from bamsmackpow.com. And the end here just says, verdict: Daryl Dixon is a gripping new chapter in the Walking Dead story that expands the horizons of the universe, while also delivering enough thrills, chills, and spills that will keep longtime fans of the franchise happy. It's a breathtaking spectacle that reinvigorates the Walking Dead universe. Norman Reedus has never been better, Daryl Dixon has never been better, and as a result, The Walking Dead has never been better. Grade A+. So really, really positive review here. And overall, you know, like, I could keep reading reviews over and over again. You know, there's so many reviews out there. Like, I could just keep going and going and going. But it does seem like there's a lot of praise for Daryl, and there's a lot of praise for Isabella as well. There's a lot of mentions of Laurent and the overall story here, the chemistry between the two characters, like Laurent and Daryl. There's some talk about some of the connections to The Last of Us as well, or not connections, I shouldn't say, but similarities to The Last of Us. But apparently it does feel a little bit more like The Last of Us than what they were saying, at least based off of some of the reviews. Like, they're saying that it does feel like The Last of Us quite a bit, but it is different enough where you could say it is its own thing, but the story still feels kind of similar, like in terms of, I guess, Daryl and Laurent's overall plot. Which, speaking of Laurent, and we'll talk about him in a different video because I do want to get into more of what that character is, but apparently it is one of those things in the show where we don't necessarily get the confirmation that he is the cure, but they believe he could be the cure because there's some weird things that happened around when he was born or something like that. There's something to do with how smart he is and whatnot. And they believe he's like the Messiah. And and all that. And he's going to bring on the revival of humanity sort of thing. So there's a lot of stuff there that is actually, it's quite interesting. And I do wonder if there's going to be things there where obviously, I mean, for sure, Daryl's not going to believe any of it, right? Like Daryl is sort of, I think, what most people are going to be watching the show. Like, okay, calm down. Like, you're not that person, right? There's no way you're going to be that person that's going to change the world kind of thing, right? But I wonder if there's going to be moments in the season where you're like, oh, that was weird. Like, how did he know that? Or not even how did he know that, but how did he do that? Or like just little things here and there, right? Like, I do wonder if there's going to be moments like that in this season. So based off of the early reviews, I am so excited for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. It seems like this show is really great, and I'm very excited. I mean, my expectations going in, like I said, I think Dead City was very phenomenal. I enjoyed it so much. It was a return to something that I wanted with The Walking Dead. Very quality television, a very great story, and I enjoyed it. I had some issues with Dead City, specifically episode 4, but overall, I really like Dead City. So, you know, I'm excited for Daryl Dixon. I can't wait to see, you know, what the show's going to be, or what the show has to give us. And I know there's been some mentions of apparently a flashback scene in episode 5. That apparently is really cool, and then the ending of episode 6 is really good. And apparently the best episode, at least among a lot of the reviewers that I've been seeing, is the finale. So that's exciting, right? So anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.